So you're going to need the chest measurement of whoever you're making this for. The number should be an even number. I'm going to chain 100 for this sample. So take the chest measurement and follow the instructions. You're going to make sure your chain is not twisted and slip stitch into the first chain to join. So slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain here a chain of 4, counts as a double crochet and the chain 1, and then I'm going to skip the next chain and make a double crochet into the next one, chain 1, skip a chain, make a double crochet into the next, chain 1, skip a chain, and work a double crochet into the next, and you're going to repeat that across. I'm working towards the end here. Then you're going to slip stitch into the third chain. Slip stitch, and that's how your work should look. Row 2, you're going to chain 4. Again, it counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. So chain 4, turn your work. Then you're going to make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet from previous row. Chain 1, make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet on top of the next double crochet, and repeat that until you get to the end. Alright, once you get to the end of row 2, chain 1 and slip stitch into the third chain, and that's what you should have. Chain 4 and repeat row 2. Okay, it's that simple. So I changed colors every 10th row, like I made 10 rows for each color. So you can change colors according to what you want, or you can use one color. It's all up to you. So I'm going to keep repeating this. Repeat row 2 and row 3, as you can see in the video. That's the pattern for this mesh vest. So I'm back and I have made 32 rows so far, and the next thing we're going to do is create the v-neck for our vest. So right here I have 50 stitches and I have marked off 5 stitches here in the sides, and I'm not going to be working in those 5 stitches. You're going to do the same for the other side. Mark off a few stitches depending on how many number of chains you started with. So since mine is small, obviously it's going to be small. So I have 20 stitches for the front and for the back. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is mark off the center of our vest. So I'm counting off 10 stitches here, and I'm going to mark the middle of the vest right here. That's going to be the center of the V-neck. So both sides here have 10 stitches just for the front part. So you're going to get your yarn and make a slip knot, and you're going to reattach it. I'm going to start from where I have my stitch marker. So to make this, one side is going to be straight, while the center is the part that we're going to be decreasing. So you're going to chain 4, and you're going to make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet on top of the next double crochet until you get to the stitch marker in the middle. Once you get to the middle, you're going to chain 1, and you're going to place there a double crochet, like there in the chain 1. You're going to create there a stitch. So we've created there a stitch, and that's going to be the center for our V-neck. You're going to chain 2 and turn your work, and we're going to be making our first row of decrease. You're going to yarn over and make a double crochet into the same space that chain 2 is coming out of, and then you're going to yarn over, and you're going to skip that next stitch and make a double crochet into the next stitch. So that's our decrease. That's how we decrease. Chain 1, double crochet on top of the next double crochet. So the rest is just the same as we've been doing. We're making our decrease only in the V-neck, like the middle part. That's the only part we're making decreases. The rest is still the same. So you're going to make double crochet on top of the next double crochet, separated by a chain 1 until you get to the next stitch marker. So when you get to the end, you're going to chain 1 and make a double crochet on top of the chain 4 that we have. So this is what you should be having, and as you can see, we have this side straight. Okay, so to start our next row, you're going to chain 4 and turn your work. So for this row, we're not going to decrease at all. We're going to make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet, like that, until we get to the end without a decrease. So it's a decrease, then no decrease, decrease, no decrease, as I'll be showing you. Sorry guys, I know I talk too much in the tutorials, but it's because I've been trying to make sure that you all get it. But this is pretty simple. Chain 1, double crochet on top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet. So for this row, we're not making any decreases. Chain 1, and your last stitch should go into that first double crochet. Okay, now the next row we're going to make a decrease. So chain 2, turn your work. We're chaining 2 in the middle part, because that's where we're making our decreases. So chain 2, make a double crochet into the same stitch, yarn over, skip the next stitch, double crochet into the next one, chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch, and you're going to repeat that until you get to the end. Remember, your last stitch has to go into that last chain, that beginning chain or double crochet that we'll be having. So we just made a decrease row. That means this row we're not going to make any decreases. So you're going to chain 4, turn your work, make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet, chain 1, double crochet on top of the next double crochet until you get to the end. Okay, your work should look like that. Now, and our next row is going to be a decrease row, so chain 2, turn your work, yarn over and double crochet into that same stitch the chain is coming out of, then yarn over and skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next one, and repeat until you get to the end. So double crochet into the third chain to end the row. Then you're going to make another row with no decrease. Alright, your work should look like that. So I lost my 5mm hook, guys. That's why you see that this is kind of getting smaller here, because I'm using a 4mm hook. So I think I'm done with my decreases, and now I'm just going to be working normal, like with no decreases. You'll need to make more decreases depending on how big your vest is. So since mine is small, I'm going to stop here making decreases, and I'm just going to work normal, like making the mesh pattern until I have enough length. And yeah, until I have enough length for the armholes. So that's what you have to consider while working on the V-neck area, because you have to consider the armholes as well. You have to make sure that the space you leave is going to be long enough for the arms to go through. So I'm going to continue with this, and I'll be back, guys, to show you how many rows I have done. So I have only decreased for 3 rows, rather 3 times. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing we just did here on the other side of the vest. So as you can see, I decreased only 3 times, and I have a total of 13 rows with my yellow color. So you're going to make a slip knot, and you're going to attach your yarn. We're going to be doing the same thing we did on the other side, so I just want to show you the beginning here. So I'm going to chain up 4, counts as a double crochet and a chain 1. Yarn over, skip a chain and make a double crochet on top of the next double crochet. Chain 1, double crochet on top of the next double crochet until you get to the center. So when you get to the center here, you're going to chain 1 and make a double crochet into the same stitch where we have the first double crochet from the other side of the vest. I hope it's clear there. So this row, we're going to make a decrease, so you chain 2 and turn, make a double crochet into the same stitch the chain is coming out of. Then you're not going to chain every time we're making a decrease, you don't chain. So you're going to yarn over, skip a stitch and double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, double crochet into on top of the next double crochet, and repeat that until you get to the end. Chain 1, remember your last stitch goes into that first chain that we have there. Chain 4, turn your work. This next row is not going to be a decrease row, so you're going to make a normal mesh row. I'm going to show you one more time how to make a decrease, then you'll do the rest. I'll do the rest off camera. Chain 2, turn your work, and you're going to make a double crochet into that same space the chain 2 is coming out of. Yarn over, skip a stitch, double crochet on top of the next double crochet. and then repeat the pattern until you have enough length for your vest, and I'll meet you back here shortly. So this is what you have. As you can clearly see, the v-neck is there, and I'm sure your work is better than mine right now because I lost my hook, so that's why the yellow color is kind of the way it is. So you're going to make a slip knot and you're going to attach it where you had your stitch marker, and now we're working on the back part. So you're going to chain 4 and you're going to make the mesh pattern, and the back part is just going to be straight. You're going to keep making it double crochet, chain 1, double crochet until you get to the other side where you had your stitch marker. You keep doing that back and forth until you have enough length, the same as you did for the front. If you made 13 rows for the front, you're going to make the same for the back. So I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to do this, and then I'll be back so we can join the shoulder part. So this is what you should be having. I went ahead and joined one of the shoulders, and we're going to join the next one together. The back should be looking like so. So I hope you left a long tail, but if not, you can get a piece of yarn and you're going to thread it, and we're going to join this. I used my darning needle, but you can use your hook, whatever works for you. Okay, you need to flip your work, like you have to turn it on the wrong side and join it that way. So I'm simply with this you're just going to see what I'm doing, and that's all you have to do as well. I'm going through all the stitches. This is how your work should be looking after joining both shoulders. This next part is optional. You really don't have to do this, but I felt like I needed to add a row at the bottom. So you're going to make a slip knot and you're going to attach it anywhere. Going to attach mine here, pull through, you're going to chain 2 and make a half double crochet into the same space, make the second half into the same, and you're going to make 2 half double crochets into each space. So make 2 half double crochets into each space until you get to the end of the row. And that's it. You will be done with your work. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next video. Ciao.